Alrighty, I could spend a lot of time talking about my hobbies, but my name is Paula. I'm a sustainability consultant with Stoke who works in healthy materials and carbon. The two are a little bit intertwined. I am from a little bit north of Toronto, Canada, a really small town, and I love anything that's creative, anything that has to do with the outdoors, and anything that involves like building things with my hands. Those are my main hobbies. All right, so the way that I think about healthy materials is the environmental and the human health impact of any material or product throughout its life cycle. So that's, I think, what makes healthy materials so interesting and so important, is it really takes into account such a broad variety of different things. So how it impacts nature, how it impacts humans, whether it's from the extraction of the raw materials, the use, or the disposal. I'm a systems design engineer by training, and that means a lot of different things, but the way I think about systems design engineering is looking at engineering products and systems in a holistic way, which really ties into the material scope, because it means that you understand how to look at complex systems and understand that a product isn't just this product existing on its own. It's a part of this whole ecosystem of the people that make it, the people that use it, the places that it gets disposed of. And having that engineering background and knowing what things look like from the manufacturer perspective, from the designer perspective, I really think helps in having those conversations, and then also assessing the products from a technical perspective. The healthy materials work that I do and that we do at Stoke typically takes two different forms. So there's the certification side, like LEED, that has a few different credits targeted towards healthy materials. And then there's the custom sustainability strategy side of it. So we'll work with clients to assess their priorities and the kinds of projects that they work on, and create custom material strategies that are usually a little bit ahead of what's happening in the certification sphere. So what I'm really excited about now is understanding how embodied carbon fits into the healthy materials space, because of course embodied carbon is a part of healthy materials since it affects the environment throughout the product life cycle. And anecdotally, we've noticed that lower carbon products are typically also healthier for the people that use them and for the people that make them. But that's not something that's proven yet. So I'm excited to see how that nexus develops and do a little bit more research into that space. Understand what your priorities are, and obviously I would say I'd love you to care about every single aspect of healthy materials, but that's not always the case, and you might not always have the resources to do that. So identifying what kind of project are you working on? Is this a TI where you're really just working with finishes and maybe you want to focus more on occupant health, identifying that, or maybe this is a really intense structural build with a lot of concrete and a lot of steel, in which case maybe you want to focus a little bit more on carbon on that front. So understanding what your scope is and understanding where your priorities lie so you know where to start engaging. So this really depends on what you're targeting in the healthy material space. A bit of a shortcut is if you're thinking about human health that within the actual occupation of the building, so the people that are using the products, prioritizing finishes and prioritizing understanding what ingredients are in those finishes, whether they're emitting any volatile organic compounds, things like that is where you want to focus your energy. But on the flip side, if we're thinking about more structural elements, then that's where you might want to prioritize things like carbon and more that life cycle scope to sustainability and healthy materials. So what kinds of projects should prioritize healthy materials? I would say all of them, because really materials and products make up the entire world around us. So if you're not thinking about the sustainability of the matter that's all around you, then you have a gaping hole in your approach to sustainability. That being said, I think this is especially important for clients that might have a larger portfolio, maybe have some kind of product standards or standard products that they use throughout their portfolio, have a standard set of specifications that they use, because in that case you can do the assessment one time and really have a big impact across your portfolio. So in that case, it's really worth taking the time and effort to vet through those specifications, to engage with those manufacturers and make sure that what you're specifying is actually healthy and good for the environment. These are my final words. This is intense. They matter. They just really matter. I think a lot of people either don't realize how important healthy materials are. Like, we think about the operations of our buildings and how much water and energy we use, but often the water and energy that goes into making these products can be even higher than what a building uses during its life cycle. So A, healthy materials matter. It's important to understand that. And B, I think a lot of people are intimidated by how complicated healthy materials can seem. And the truth is, there's no silver bullet, there's no one right answer. So even just starting down that sustainability path and just starting to try and do the right thing, just start asking questions, even that will make a big difference in the kinds of products you're using.
Can you say that in another language?
Oh, I can. There's no direct translation for sustainability in Polish that I know of. I can say green buildings. Kocham zielone budynki, kocham stołk I kocham tu pracować.